All right, here's part 2 of the summary of organic reactions. If you haven't already watched part 1, please go ahead and do that. So the next reaction we're going to talk about, or type of reaction, is called an elimination reaction. And this can be thought of as the opposite of the reaction from the video before, which is an addition reaction. An elimination reaction eliminates or subtracts a simple molecule from a compound to leave behind a double bond. Okay, so you can think of that. We'll look at in a second at how that's kind of the opposite of an addition reaction. Okay, so a pretty straightforward example of this, if I had something like, say, chloroethane, so that's got one chlorine and all the rest of the bonding spots on our carbons are filled with hydrogens. Okay, and I did an elimination reaction, then I would be creating a double bond. Okay, so the two carbons originally had a single bond, now they're going to have a double bond. And to do that, I have to take some of the atoms from the original molecule away. One of them is going to be the chlorine, so I'm going to pull that off of this. And then the other atom has to come from the other carbon. There's only hydrogens there, so I'm also going to take a hydrogen. Okay, so if I take away the chlorine and this hydrogen, then I'm left with just two hydrogens on each of these. Okay, so an elimination reaction creates a double bond, okay, or creates an alkene. I could also do an elimination reaction starting from an alcohol. So let's look at propanol, which has an OH right here. Okay, so once again, so I've got 3 carbons in my chain here. 3 carbons in my chain. There's a hydrogen right here that I kind of stuck on the end. I know it's kind of hard to see. So I'm going to redraw those 3 carbons. But then because I'm doing an elimination reaction, I'm removing some atoms, okay? I'm going to take the hydroxyl group, okay, that makes this an alcohol, and then I'm going to take one of the hydrogens from the carbon right beside that. So something like that. And because I have an H here and an OH here, that means I'm eliminating water, okay? I'm creating a double bond between the 2 carbons that those atoms came from, okay? So once again, I'm creating an alkene. And then I just leave the rest of the hydrogens where they were. I'll put them below because the ones that were left were below here. Okay, and that one's just leave that blank. Okay, so I've created an alkene here by eliminating a water. Okay, now this last box here is just to describe the uses of these types of reactions. An elimination reaction is once again just a tool for organic synthesis. Okay, so just in general, if we're talking drug manufacture, pesticide manufacture, other types of like commercial manufacturing, where new compounds are coming up, are being developed all the time, this is just one of the tools that are used. Okay, an elimination reaction. Okay, 2 more types of reactions to go over. So the next one is a substitution reaction. Okay, and this, kind of similar to the previous 2 examples, it's what's going on is really described by the type of reaction. So a substitution means you're doing a replacement. You're substituting one thing on your organic compound for a different thing. And the example we're going to look at here is if you have a haloalkane, so something like bromoethane, like this. And you have a hydroxide ion, then you can do a swap. So you can swap the bromine for the hydroxide. Okay, and then your bromine is the thing that's left to the side. Okay, so there's a few different types of substitution reactions. This is the only one I think you need to be familiar with, where you're just doing a simple swap, hydroxide for bromine. Okay, and that ends up taking your haloalkane and creating an alcohol instead. Okay, and once again, this is one of the tools that organic chemists have in their pocket when they're synthesizing new compounds. So it's just a tool for organic synthesis, okay, in development of drugs and new products. Okay, our final type of reaction is called an esterification reaction. And it's a reaction that makes an ester, okay, which is one of the classes of compound we talked about. So to make an ester, you need to start with an organic acid. So something like, say, ethanoic acid. Okay, and you also need an alcohol. Okay, so this is ethanoic acid. And this is propanol. And these two compounds, so an organic acid and an alcohol, can combine together to make an ester. Okay, so this particular ester would be called propyl ethanoate. Okay, so we combine our organic acid like this and our alcohol like this. These are just examples, but you could have any acid and any alcohol, and you end up making an ester. The other thing you end up making is a water molecule, okay? Because the hydrogen here and the oxygen and hydrogen here, when this new link is made, they have to go somewhere, they make a water molecule, okay? And because they make a water molecule, sometimes you'll see esterification reactions called condensation reactions, okay? And that's kind of a general term for any organic reaction that produces water, okay? Just like water can condense on the side of your glass, an organic reaction that produces water is called a condensation reaction. Okay, and then esters, so the uses of this type of reaction, there are two major uses. We're going to get a little bit specific with these. One, esters are often flavor or scent molecules. So if you're making, like, say, synthetic vanilla flavoring or synthetic mint flavoring, then you might be making esters in the process, okay? Because a lot of those compounds that give foods their distinct flavors, vanilla, mint, banana, are esters, okay? And esters are also naturally occurring, like bananas have a combination of esters in them that make them taste like bananas. So making flavors and scents. Okay, another thing esterification reactions are used for is making plastics. Okay, and that's something that we're going to talk about later this week or maybe next week. Okay, so that completes the just a quick summary of organic reaction types, okay? I'm going to post the two videos as well as a copy of this page so you can review it. And then there's about 12 questions that I copied out of a textbook that I want you to try to practice. Okay, and then I'll have a little assignment for you guys posted towards the end of the week that uses some of the things that you've learned here. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Stay safe and healthy.